It was January of 1976, and I was wrestling with God. You see, I had fallen in love with Melody, and I wanted to ask her to marry me. The problem was that Melody had just gone blind in one eye, and there was a good chance that she was going to go blind in the other eye. And I was trying to figure out if I wanted to be married to a gal that might go blind. What would it be like to be a minister with a wife that was blind? I wrestled and I prayed and I struggled all through the night. And then early in the morning, all of a sudden a thought came to me. I think it was God's impression upon me. And the thought was this: whatever happens, you and I can handle it together, Dave. The next day, I asked Melody to become my bride. For 26 years, we went to hundreds of doctor's appointments. She went through 3 major surgeries and a couple of other minor procedures, and her sight was always on the verge of going away. But God was faithful, and her sight has remained. 12 years ago, we came to Enterprise, and interestingly enough, her eyes have leveled out, and the diseases are still there, but they are no longer threatening. There are no guarantees, but God has been faithful to keep His promises, that He would help us handle each and every moment. There are many times in our lives when we simply are called to follow God's leading, and His leading always takes us where we are called to take steps of faith. I think God delights in stretching us so that we are out of our comfort zones in order that He might be magnified. 12 years ago this week, Melody and I took a big step of faith. We left a comfortable 18-year ministry in Dayton, Washington, and came down to become the pastor and his wife of Enterprise Christian Church. It was definitely a call of God. Even then, the pulpit committee talked about a proposed building project that was just looming ahead. They had talked, they had prayed, they had been working on this for some time, and over the past 12 years, we have continued that process. That's where we come to today. We're on the verge of breaking ground for a new building. We've been blessed by 3 gifts, which are approximately half of the funding that's going to be necessary. We definitely have heard the concerns of people that say, I don't want any long-term debt. Well, the answer to long-term debt is to be able to go ahead and raise funds so that we don't have to borrow those funds. Our thoughts concerning money and giving and how we handle God's stewardship to us will be a focus for the next few weeks. As we enter into a capital funds campaign, we will have an opportunity to make a pledge to God, not a pledge to a building. The bottom line is this: we want you to think about what you could give, and then to ask what God would have you to give. We're asking each and every one to be open to God's leading and then to participate with generosity. These are going to be exciting days. I've never been through a building project, and I look forward to see how God is going to stretch my faith through the process. He has promised to walk with me, and I trust His promises. God bless us as we take our place in the generations of faithfulness.